Welcome to my The Asshole Podcast. Let's get into it. All right. It is a beautiful Tuesday, and let's get right into our juicy scenario Thread. God, man, I've done over 120 episodes of this damn show now, and I still call it scenario and not thread. Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, without further ado, let's get into the thread. All right. What made you realize, why your significant other wasn't the one? All right. Today's thread, what made you realize your significant other wasn't the one? We were engaged, and I got introduced at a party of work people as her friend. No. That's crazy. That's wild. You couldn't even be at least a boyfriend? Damn. She didn't want the one, just a one, and like on a strict timeline. She broke up with me as soon as I signed a 1-year lease on an apartment because that would mean we wouldn't move in together for at least a year. Yeah, and she has to be engaged by February 2018, and that just won't work out. She needs to be married by September of next year, which I'm sure is 2019, and I just messed up her timetable. She was 20 years old, and we have been dating for 3 months. Yeah, I had no idea about her plans, so good luck. Yo, you've been dating for 3 months? And she's over here just like, oh my goodness, I need to be engaged by this time. We need to be living together by this time, and I should be married by this time. And then probably she was just like, we got to have kids by this time. We're going to have 4 or 5 kids, blah, 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 blah. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I applaud you for actually planning your future and wanting, a future with this guy. That's great. That's a W. But we shouldn't be talking about that 3 months into dating. Maybe give it a year and then we'll talk about this stuff. Like, damn, girl, you're getting a bit ahead of yourself, if I'm being honest with you. Shit. When she insisted on having a fight, called her mom for support, and when her mom said it must have been something she did, she got pissed off and told me to go sleep in the park on my birthday. Yo. I told her a week later I wanted to break up, and she said, no, I don't accept that. Whoa. Okay. She is the problem. Because if your own mom is like, oh, wow, yeah, she must have did something wrong, that in itself tells you that you're the problem. Like, come on, man. Let's just keep that hundo P here. I think you're the problem. If your own mom is just like, yeah, I think she did some, fuck shit, and that's why she's acting like that. And then you try to break up with her, and you're like, look, we're just not compatible. This ain't working out, blah, blah, blah. She said, I don't accept that. Like, huh? Like, what? No. Run, brother. Run. The realization was painful and gradual, mostly owning to his inability to have reasonable discussion, refusal to respect my perspective, and nonstop grudge holding. But the last straw for me was he broke one of my possessions, thankfully something small / cheap, in a fit of rage. I knew I couldn't spend the rest of my life with someone like that, left soon after. Also, I was scared of him, never felt that way about a significant other before. Damn. Homeboy must have just had rage issues and was just yelling and screaming and all kinds of shit. When she came home drunk after a night out with friends claiming I wasn't texting her enough, even though a review of our text thread showed I responded to every text in a timely manner, not a big deal by itself, but it was a straw that broke the camel's back sort of situation. She probably doesn't, she's probably looking for a reason to break up maybe or fight or something, because it's like, dude, how you gonna be that nitpicky about shit? Like, you get shit-faced drunk. I texted you the whole time, and then you're gonna be like, oh, you didn't text me. And then I'm just like, no, I did text you. And you're just sitting there like, oh, well, me getting drunk is your fault. It's like, all right, man, come on. I don't think she wanted to be in that relationship anymore. She was just grabbing at anything to try to get him to break up with her. My dad died in 2000, and a friend of mine brought over a tray of food to my family. We were friends, but not close enough to where we knew each other's phone numbers or addresses. It was a complete surprise to her. She just heard about it and looked for something to do to help. Months later, I realized it was something my girlfriend would never do. I started dating the food tray girl about 15 months later and married her. This nigga said the food tray girl. That's crazy. He didn't even know her name. Now, what is this thing that she did for you that kind of, was like my girlfriend would never do? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she was slop-a-topping you, and he was like, oh God, oh Jesus, oh Daddy, thank you. Like, yeah, man. I mean, you married her, so she must have been slopping that top. Come on, man. When she chose alcohol over the relationship, oh shit. Ooh, that's scary. When she said that I was too selfish of a person, this is less a representation of who I am and more of who she is. She was a PhD student in special education, and her goal was to travel to war-torn countries and teach English to children with disabilities there. I designed medical devices in an air-conditioned office, so to her, I wasn't willing to personally sacrifice enough to help others. She's a wonderful person, but I realized that I could never live up to her standards. What the fuck? Why do you have to hold someone to the standards that you put on yourself? That's kind of fucked up. Like, just because you want to go to war-torn, places of the world and teach kids and do all that kind of stuff, that's great. That's fantastic. But you don't have to hold me to that standard. Like, and his job is equally as important. He's creating prosthetics and, devices that will help aid people who don't have limbs and who are born without, fingers and toes and all that kind of stuff. Like, that's his job. That's what he does. And it's like, I would say his job is just as helpful as yours. I don't think anyone, like, she just sat there and was just like, oh, I'm better than you because you don't want to do this or you don't want to do that. And it's like, that's not the issue here, but sure. Like, yeah, I would have got out of that relationship too. Like, what the fuck? That's fucked up. Happily married now, but with my ex, it was one night we went out and she got drunk and started cursing me out loudly in public for basically not drinking as much as she did, calling me a pussy among other things. When I tried to calm her down, she proceeded to hit me with an umbrella. Yeah, she didn't respect you at all. Like, no woman that respects their man would ever do some shit like that, let alone in public, mind you. Yeah, she didn't respect you or give a fuck about you anymore. Good thing you're out of that relationship. Good luck on her, man. Ooh. Good luck to her finding a man, because I don't think she's going to find one. When his very sweet mother told me I should leave him and I can do much better. Yo, that's how you know it's bad. When his mom is like, yeah, honey, I don't think you should stay with my son because he ain't the best for you. You could do a lot better. Because moms are designed to be on their child's side, but if the mom is going out of their way and saying, "Hey, nah, you shouldn't." Ooh. Damn. Yeah, that lets you know to automatically get the fuck out of there. That is like the brightest red flag you could ever see. Jeez. All right, we met online just before / as we were both leaving long-term relationships. We had many similar interests. We both needed someone to lean on and were already predisposed to fast connections. It seemed great, ideal, a bunch of other positive adjectives and such. I suddenly needed to get away from where I was, and we talked Yeah, and we talked about me moving halfway across the country. Then we mostly heard she's brilliant, made it happen. Okay. Problem was, we had no physical chemistry in person. We were a much better match as friends. Took a few months for that to really sink in, as it did other things came up. She was smarter with a way better memory. She approached the world differently from me, and gradually things became strained as all the little things added up. So we broke up. Both of us have avoidant personalities, so we lost touch as friends very rapidly. I'm happier where I moved, and she's met someone who's a better match for her. For a brief while, we were what the other needed, and I appreciate that, but I still miss my friend. I mean, and that's why a lot of times the online shit don't really work, because it's like you guys can be great texters and all that kind of stuff, but you guys are just horrible in person. And a lot of times that's the reason why you're meeting somebody online, is because you're terrible at person, you know? Hey. And that kind of sucks. She shouldn't have moved out there. She should have visited and been like, that way she could go back home and she's good. She didn't have to do all the extra steps, but at least everything worked out. But yeah, she should have at least just visited and been like, hey, how's it going? You know what I mean? And that could have worked out a little better, but at least everything worked out. When he pressured me into having sex with someone while he watched.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Okay. He responded to my repeated protests with, if you don't do this, then obviously you don't care about me. Oh, shit. When I finally gave in to my complete discomfort, he freaked out and accused me of cheating on him.
What?
Bro, you told me to do this. What the fuck are we talking about? A lot of emotional and manipulation in that relationship. Thank God I immediately moved 3 states away. People can suck. Bro, what the fuck? He said, I want you to sleep with this other guy so that way I can watch and beat my dick. And then she finally gives into it because she's like, no, I don't want to fucking do this shit. But she finally gives into it for whatever reason. And then he's just like, oh man, at least I don't cheat like you did. And she's like, when did I fucking cheat? Oh, you fucked that dude, remember? It's like, what do you mean? You told me to do that. No, you wanted to do that. Like, nigga. Or he probably said some dumb shit like, you made me do that. Like, bro, get the fuck out of here, man. Golly. I'm glad you're 3 states away from that loser. The last nail in that coffin was when she threw a hissy fit like 2 years old because she was thirsty and had to walk a little ways to get something to drink. Never been quite that embarrassed before. So she threw a fit because she had to go get water? And you were embarrassed by that? Okay. Sure, man. Sure. This nigga was just like, man, she threw a fit getting water. Yeah, this relationship ain't gonna work. Like, okay. Like, all right, then I guess. Sure. When she went back to pills and slept with her ex to pay for her addiction. Yo. Pretty obvious 2 years down the tubes, had planned to propose before I found out. Asked her parents and everything. She fucked up such a good life to go back to being a junkie and a loser. Damn, that's crazy. I asked my best friend how he could call his significant other his best friend. It blew me away that I also best friend could be valued the same level as a significant other. This lead our conversation to, dude, why isn't your significant other your best friend? And if not, what are you even doing? That was kind of mind-blowing for me. Thankfully, my current significant other has opened my eyes to what that feels like. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I think your significant, as a guy, your significant other being your best friend is kind of an L. Because the thing about like being best friends is to where it's like Like as a friend, there's it's a different dynamic. You know what I mean? I get it. They were like, oh, it should be like a best friend, not an actual best friend. But it's like in dating, I'm supposed to be the one who leads the interaction and pays for the dates and all that kind of stuff. That's not really a friend, if I'm being honest with you. We are in a totally different dynamic. You know, like I can't be in a friendship dynamic with you. Sure, we can goof around and have fun and talk or whatever, but, and I guess in that aspect, sure, you could be friends, but it's like I would never treat my girl as a friend. You know, I would treat her as my girl. You know what I mean? Where I'm taking care of her, I'm leading her and providing for her. Yeah, I'm not gonna treat her like a fucking friend. That's a little weird. Sure, we're gonna have fun and we're gonna talk and laugh and do all that kind of stuff. Sure, in that aspect, that's fine. You know, but for 90% of the relationship, we're not friends. This is a, you know, male to female romantic interactions. Yeah, I don't know. I never saw the reasoning for like significant others to be best friends and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, nah, that's just weird to me. I have best friends for a reason, you know, because when I want that friend dynamic, I go to them. When I want that romantic dynamic and perspective, I go to my girl, you know. So I don't know. I guess some people don't, they want to have both. They want to have their cake and eat it too, I guess. I don't fucking know. Either that or you don't have friends, maybe. I don't know. I was relieved when she canceled our plans together and realized I'd rather have an evening on my own. Okay. Sure. I mean, I would take that as a W. I mean, if you guys are already dating, then I would take that as a W because, I mean, she's kind of looking at it like, okay, you know, this is what you really want to do, so I'm going to let you do what you really want to do. You know, unless she went out and did some heinous shit and you didn't say that. I don't know. All right. We were at a party and he wanted to go home. As we were leaving, a girl said that she hopes I feel better. I said, not me, my husband. He grabbed me and gave me a look that scared me. We went to the car and he freaked out. Turns out the lied about me being ill so that this girl would see what a selfish wife I am. He told me that I wasted his life being married to him, I wasted his life being married to me. I was so done, I asked him to leave. He packed a bag that night. He had a long relationship with that girl, his boss's wife. Whoa, what? Hold up, wait a minute. So he told his boss's wife, hey, we have to leave because my wife is feeling ill. And so then she went up to the wife and was just like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're feeling ill. The wife was like, oh, no, I'm not feeling ill. My husband is feeling ill because that's what he told me. And then he just grabbed her. They went to the car and then she was like, yo, what the fuck was that about? And he was just like going off at her or whatever. And he said that she was selfish and that he wasted his time being married to her. And then he got into a relationship with his boss's wife. So I'm guessing she left his boss and then, you know, they got divorced and now they're together. She played them against each other and left with both their cash. Now I'm happily remarried. Oh, shit. So she got money from the boss and her ex-husband. Yo! Now I'm happily remarried and he is still picking up the pieces 6 years later. I don't want bad things for him, but after this second DUI, I don't have any sympathy left. He got what he deserved. Oh my God. And we talk about this a few times on the show, man. Karma is real and it will smack you in the face. And some people get karma just bad. This dude out here left his amazing wife, I'm sure, to go be with his boss's ex-wife. She finessed his boss and finessed him. left him picking up the pieces while she went and got remarried and just living the lavish life. Yo, I'm telling you, man, that karma, bro, that karma, it gets you. Be careful out there. Shit. Because it might smack you. Being married now, I see what made all of the other ones not work. I was too absorbed in having the same common interest that will sustain you for a while. You learn to grow together and become comfortable with each other. Hell, you might even fall in love with each other. But then it hit this wall where one of us didn't want to move forward. With my now wife, everything felt right. I never had to question anything. I thought I might even have one of those, oh shit, I don't really want to get married / marry this person moments, but it never came. I was absolutely certain she was the one for me. I feel the same way about having our first kid together. Due at the end of this year, there is stress, but no worrying. All right, man. I mean, you in the wrong, you in the wrong thread, but congratulations, you know? When we could no longer hold a conversation. Facts. Yeah. I mean, if I'm being honest with you, if you can't hold a conversation with your significant other anymore, I mean, is there really a relationship anymore? Jeez. All right. We're going to do 3 more. I was dumb enough to ignore the schizophrenia, paranoia, alcoholism, and refuse to take his medication. It was when he drunkenly flipped a car with us and his sister in it one night while drifting. It affected me badly, and one night he took off for a couple of nights, like usual, and hit me with his car on the way out. I packed a bag for him and left it at his work, kept his cat because he almost killed it with a flea infestation. Jesus Christ, who do you guys be dating? God damn, like you didn't see all this? I mean, obviously, she said she didn't. Yeah, she was like, I was dumb enough to ignore all that. Like, bro, like, I would be seeing all of this just happening day over day, and I'd be thinking to myself, like, I don't think I want to be in a relationship with this person anymore. You know, like, what are we doing here? That is just, woo. That is wildly concerning and scary. I'm so glad you got out of that relationship and you saved the little chippy tender. Because, you know, like, you and that cat and the sister didn't deserve it, man. That's crazy. Okay, 2 more. Let's see. Okay. When he put his hands around my throat and threatened to stab me if I ever argued with him again. Oh my God. Jesus. I endured years of emotional abuse and gaslighting, even catching him cheating. But apparently, until it escalated into physical abuse, I thought this was normal behavior. I'd like to redo my early 20s again. Oh my God, man. What the fuck? Why would you think that's normal? Like, did your parents not tell you that that's not normal? Like, were your parents this abusive too, or what's going on? Like, you know, did you not have grandparents? Like, what's going on? Where are you getting this from? Because, I mean, even just being tapped into social media would let you know that that's not normal. I really don't get it when they sit there and say, oh, I thought that was normal. Oh, you know, I assumed a dude just being a psycho crazy nigga was normal. Like, I refuse to believe it. There is way too many examples, whether it's out on the internet, it's in movies, media, it's grandparents, your parents, whatever it is, a family member, brother, sister. Like, is it this thing where they're telling you this stuff and you're just like, nah, not me. That's not my relationship. You know, like, is that what's going on? Because that's fucking ridiculous. I don't believe that bullshit, and I will never believe it when somebody sits there and say, oh, you know, it was, I thought this was normal. Oh, I thought this was normal. Nah, bro.
Stop the cap.
Because there's way too many, like, sources out there that tell you that's not normal or show you that it's not normal. And you want to sit there and, no, not my relationship. No, not me. Couldn't be me. And you're in that dumb shit. Like, fucking ridiculous, man. I don't feel bad for those people, if I'm being honest with you. Like her, I don't feel bad for her because it's like you sat there And I guarantee you, people were telling you that, what he's doing is not right. How he is in that relationship is not right. You shouldn't be with him. You can do better. And I guarantee you, she sat there. No, I love him. No, he's great. No, he's this and that. It's different. You don't know him. He's different when we're alone. And, I guarantee you, that's why I don't feel bad for you, bro. And I don't feel bad for you, not one bit. And I don't feel bad for people who sit there and say that crap, because there's too many mediums out there telling you that that's not normal. And you're going to sit there and act like that was normal. Come on, bro. Let's be honest here. All right, our last one. One day randomly snapped out of my depression, saw how shitty my life was with him, broke off our engagement, moved back to my grandmother's, committed myself to psych ward 2 weeks later. But there is much more of a backstory to that last part. But my ex is a man-child, broke as fuck, and has no control over his life because his life is controlled by his mother. I had him over to play MTG last week. I don't know what that is. And he's like, you live in a shitty apartment. The only thing I could respond to him with that was, I'd like to see what you can afford on what you make. And at least I still don't live with my mother. Hey, I mean, you chose that, broke nigga. I'm glad you realized and got out of it. But I mean, it's like, there's a lot of women who just be sitting in it thinking like, oh, love is going to save the day. Nah, nigga's a bum. Get the fuck out of here. Like, dude, like, don't get me wrong. I get you having strong feelings towards somebody and you loving them and being with them, on their, in their tough moments and that kind of stuff. But I mean, if they're just walloping in it and they're comfortable being at the bottom and being, less than average and mediocre and all that kind of stuff, and you're just not that type of person, that type of lifestyle depresses you. If that type of lifestyle depresses you, you need to get the fuck up out of there, because there is nothing good that's going to come from a relationship like that at all. And like I said, I get it. I'm not going to sit here and say, she was in the wrong or anything like that. But at the same time, it's like, I guarantee she looked at it like, oh, he has potential. You know what I mean? That's probably what it was. She was probably like, he's got potential. It might work out, But, hey, that's going to be the end of that thread. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that thread. It was pretty juicy, a little, juice here and there. Let's go ahead and hop into announcements. Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. If you'd like an episode every single Friday as well, or an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios to be featured on the Tuesday and Sunday shows, go ahead and get on Patreon, where we're doing the dang thing over there, man. You guys have, I want to say, close to almost 6 months of content over there. So yeah, get over there, check that out. $3 a month. If you want to support the show on the free 99 side, if you're an audio listener, please rate the podcast. I've been seeing you guys rate the show, and I do appreciate that so much. 5 stars is preferable, and keep rating and downloading the podcast. It helps a lot. TikTok as well as Instagram. TikTok, man, you guys are killing it. We hit our 5K goal. We are on our way to 10K. Thank you guys so much. That is a huge goal for me to hit, and I was smiling from ear to ear when I saw that 5K, so I do appreciate you guys so much for all of that. Instagram, if you guys are more on the Instagram side of things, go ahead and go over there. If you guys want to help even more on the free 99 side, clicking that link tree, going to the YouTube, or just going to youtube.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Am I the Asshole Podcast, all one word. Subscribing over there. Even if you don't watch over there, just hitting the subscribe button helps your boy out. It really does. I appreciate you guys so much for all the support. I love you guys. Now let's get into today's scenarios. Our first scenario is I, 32 male, am straight but love anal.
Stop the cap.
Hi. I guess this is something I wanted to put out in the open. All right, man. I am a 32-year-old straight male. For probably the last 5 years or so, I have consistently anally masturbated. Okay. Sure. I use my fingers and things I can find around my house. I have never bought myself a toy for some reason, though. While I am doing it, I love to take pics and videos of myself. Okay, all right.
Bruh.
Okay, all right. Let's see. I would say 90% of the time I think about things like getting pegged or rimmed by a woman. Only on rare occasions have I had thoughts about a penis in my butt. I mean, but you want to get pegged though, so it's like, isn't it the same thing? Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I want to say that's the same thing though. I guess I'm wondering what your thoughts on this are, both male and female opinions. Are there women that are into this? Feel free to DM if you'd like to talk about it as well. Look, man, for one, it's cool, bro. It's cool if you're gay, man. It's all good. It's all good. We're gonna love you regardless, man. If you're gay, that's cool, man. That's cool. Because if I'm being honest with you, straight dudes don't like, we don't like it up the brown chute, bro. We just don't. We don't like nothing going up there. We don't even like chicks licking on that. I mean, some girls do. I don't know why. Let's keep it on a P. That's just a little weird, if you an ass eater, you an ass eater. That is what it is, But I don't really know any actual straight men that like anything up that. I really think that once you lay with a man, you're gonna enjoy it, and then you're gonna prefer it, and that's gonna be your preferred method of sex. I think that you are still saying that you're straight because you haven't tried it yet, and I really do think that is, because I always talk about it. It's tough for people who are for men who are homosexual, because they sit there and think it's a choice and all this stuff, and I personally don't think it's a choice. Personally, I think that's who you are from the day you're born, and you like women because that's what you see and that's the norm. But then when you kiss a woman, or you like sleep with one, or whatever the case may be, and you're like, this ain't jiving, and then you kiss a dude and you're like, oh shit, like it's working, and so I think that's what he's dealing with. Sadly, he probably didn't find out until he was fucking 32, but better late than never, I guess. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, look, man, I don't think women are doing it for you, and so since women aren't doing it for you, what you should try to do is maybe sleep with a man, and then you'll realize you're not straight, and then that might answer a lot of questions for you, if I'm being honest with you. So I don't know. You let me know what you guys think about that one in the comment section, because what do you think? What do you think? All right, on to the next one. Am I wrong for staying overnight at a hotel because my boyfriend farted on me?
Bruh.
Okay. This sounds absolutely insane, and it's very humiliating for me, but I need to know if I'm overreacting or not. I don't know. I think you are, but let's see. I, 24 female, work at a hotel for context. It has always been offered to staff that if there are rooms available, then we can book ourselves into the rooms for the night. It's mostly done for practically instead of luxury. Oh, okay. I guess she meant practicality instead of luxury. And so it is done on a complimentary basis. Mainly, it's the staff who have a very early morning shift will do this, and I have never done this up until now. Monday was Mark, my boyfriend's birthday. He didn't want to have his birthday party somewhere busy, so I booked a private dining room in the hotel I work at for a discounted price. It was a 3-course meal with Mark's family and a few of his friends. Everything was going fine, but in between the main course and dessert, Mark, who was sitting beside me, simply stood up with his back to me and literally farted in my face. I was shocked, and I still am. I know he meant I know he meant to do it because he was laughing and proceeded to mimic running away as he went back to the bar area to get more drinks. It was a loud fart, and I was in the middle of talking to his aunt when he did it. Literally everyone in our surrounding vicinity heard and saw exactly what happened. I'm a timid person, so at the time, all I did was stand up and remove myself from the blast zone. I was stunned, had no idea what to say. I was trying not to cry from the utter embarrassment. I tried to fall back into the conversation and act like that didn't just happen, but I knew I was going to cry, so I excused myself to go to the bathroom. After crying in the bathroom, I still didn't feel ready to rejoin the celebrations. I walked a lap of the hotel while I tried to compose myself when I passed my boss. I must have looked like shit because he looked concerned and asked if I was okay. I said that I just felt a bit sick. He said I can always check with the front desk and book into an available room if I need to lay down and rest. I checked, and thankfully there was a room. Before I left, I went over to Mark, who was at the bar area, as dinner was over by now, and I told him I didn't feel well and that I would be upstairs. Fast forward to maybe 4 hours later, and Mark texts me asking if he can come over, presuming I was at my home. I told him that I was at a hotel room in for the night. I could tell he was annoyed and bickered about everything that happened until he stopped replying. Today, I received a text from Mark, his mother, and his best friend, all of which say I shouldn't have, Mark shouldn't have farted on me, but that I'm being petty for not telling him about the free hotel room that I had, and that I'm making this a bigger deal by trying to punish him, aka by not inviting him up to the room with me. I do think you're overreacting because it was a simple fucking joke, and you shouldn't have been as embarrassed as you thought because nobody gave a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you act like you're the center of the fucking world or something like that. Bro, who cares? Nobody. None of the family members, nobody cared. Like, Mark farted on you and they were like, that was funny, and then they moved on. But you're the only one sitting there in your head talking about, oh my God, that was so embarrassing. How dare he do that in front of his parents? They probably think I'm this and that and and nobody thinks that at all. You just for some reason think you are the center of the fucking universe and everybody's eyes are on you. You know, and they're all talking about you and this and that. And when Mark did nothing wrong and all he did was fucking play a joke on you. That's it. He farted on you. So what? You know, like, I just... You're overreacting, dude. You're overreacting big time, and it's fucking stupid. I can't even believe you would do that to your man. You know, punish him like that. What the fuck are we talking about here? That's retarded. And it's just super retarded. Like, get over yourself. Come on, man. I'm not even going to spend more time on that one. My husband cheated, and now I think I want to. Oh, she's trying to get a little get back. Uh-oh. It feels weird to even be typing this. We have been married for 4 years and have 2 young ones, 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. I found out last summer that he had been speaking to a couple of local women and have been snapping several others. Over the months, my head has been all over the place, but I never really wanted to end this relationship. He seems very serious on fixing it. Slowly, I've been noticing a change in myself, having always been someone that doesn't even register someone else. When I'm in a relationship, I notice when I even started noticing men. It was a TikTok video, and I was like, oh, hey. And then I was like, oh, shit, because that's not normal for me. All right? She's like, I saw this TikTok video and I was like, oh, no way. Oh, shit. That's crazy. Like, sure. Okay. I don't know why that was relevant to the story, but sure. And then it's evolved slowly to now I spend more time than I'd like to admit daydreaming what it'd be like to be admired, chased, to be told that I'm beautiful, to feel the excitement. I have spent the last few years cranking out babies and dealing with postpartum for this guy that that spent his time talking to other women while I don't want to split our family or lives. I also want to feel some level of excitement. I don't know what to think about this. It's so far outside of my normal that I don't know how to handle it. I'm literally going to Vegas at the end of the month for work alone. And I know that if I wanted to, I could. But that also scares the shit out of me. I think you just want an open relationship. You know? Like, you could probably fix, you know, like, or not fix, let's say you could probably compromise like your relationship and maybe get this feeling of whatever you are trying to get or whatever by talking to him and be like, look, man, I know you're cheating. I saw it. I saw what's going on. You know, you snapping these girls, you talking to these girls, whatever, da da da. On the contrary, I don't want to leave. I don't want to break us up. I think our kids would benefit if, you know, we were together. But how about we open the relationship? You get to go fuck these little hoochies that you messing around with, and I'm about to go get smacked up by some chads. You know? And what we gonna do is, you know, we do our thing, and then we come together, we take care of the kids, and we give the kids a good life while we simultaneously get to get the experiences that we want to get. He gets to fuck multiple bitches. You get to be chased and told you're beautiful and all this other crap. So I think that's what you're going for. You're going for an open relationship. And I feel like if you have a conversation with him about it, he might be okay with it just because. And I say might because he's going to have a bit of contingencies about you getting smacked up by some chads. But it's like, dude, I mean, you're not giving me what I need and what I want in this relationship. So why the fuck am I going to, you know, want to stay in it? Or, you know what I mean? I've already been kind of daydreaming and thinking about, you know, oh, Chad Thundercock over there. So, I mean, you know, help me out here. You know, I don't want to lose the relationship and make it worse for our kids and give our kids that kind of, you know, shitty environment. So how about we just compromise a bit and work it out like that? And it could work. It could work. You never know. It really could work. So I like I said, I would talk to him and be like, hey, let's try to have an open relationship. And that could work. I don't know. That's up to you, girl, though. But hey, you know, it's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for, because you don't want to leave the relationship. You just want to get some fulfillment and then come back to the relationship. And I think, you know, obviously that's what he wants to do. He wants to get his little fulfillment from these little hoochies or whatever, and then come back, you know, to his family. And then you're kind of thinking the same way. You're like, you know, I kind of want to get a little, you know, get a little tip. You know what I mean? So that's my advice. You guys let me know what you would think in the comments on that one. My boyfriend has been ignoring me ever since I said no. All right, let's see what's up. I, 17 female, have been dating. 18 male. Okay, cool. For about 5 months, we met through a mutual friend, but started to become closer once he asked me for my number. I really like him. I'd even say love if it wasn't so early. He was my date to my school dance. He goes to a different school, and after the dance, we went back to his house just to hang out. I changed out of my dress into sweats and a big shirt and just threw my dress over his desk chair. I went over to sit by him on his bed when he grabbed me and put me on top of his lap. We started kissing until he started to pull my shirt up. I never been really into the idea of sex or anything more than kissing, probably because I'm a private person and just am, in my opinion, too young for that to interest me. I stopped kissing him and I told him that I didn't want to escalate, and he immediately got upset. I tried to say never mind and we could do it, but he just got an attitude with me and gave me the cold shoulder. He walked out of the room and left me sitting on the bed. He slammed the door as he left. I was confused because he's never tried to do anything like that or act like that. He was sitting in the living room and he texted saying leave. And I started to get all my stuff packed together. I got ready at his house. I was walking out of the door when his mom asked why I was leaving. And I just told her my mom needed me home before it got too late. Like 10 minutes after I left, he called me asking where I went. I replied with, "You told me to leave." And he got mad saying, "I didn't mean it. You can't ever take a joke. Come back." I said it sounded serious, so I took it that way. And he hung up on me and has been ignoring me for 3 days. I asked our mutual friend if he's heard anything from him regarding, and he said that he was pissed. He was never going to be able to hit. I didn't know why he would say that because he's never talked about me like that. Am I wrong here? What do I do? Oh. Let's see. As of today, he did finally reply to me, just told me that he wants to talk in person. I guess in person, I'm going to go over to his house tomorrow to discuss what there is to discuss. I'm not 100% sure how to do this since this is my first time. I'll also try my hardest to update correctly. Okay. I mean, look, I get it. From his perspective, it's kind of an implied thing. All right. You kind of implied sex. And a lot of women are going to sit there and be like, "Oh, what do you mean implied sex? Or what do you mean? Like, she's not entitled to have sex with him." But it's like, to a guy, it's like, we went to the dance. You're at my house. You got out of your dress to get into something more comfortable, aka something easier to take off, if I'm being honest with you. And then, you're sitting on my lap and we're kissing and we're doing our thing. You feel my dick. You feel it hard as fuck while you sitting on it. Come on, man. You know where this is going. And we're going to escalate this shit. Now, if she's not ready, then that is something she should have just simply told him. Like, hey, like, I want to do this, but I'm just not ready yet. And honestly, on his side, I think he acted way too emotional about it all. I really do. I think he just, there is a lot wrong on his end too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that she's the only, one wrong in this situation. I wouldn't even really say she's wrong. I just think that she gave off the wrong implications to him, And so, it was one of those things where it's just like, he could have easily just been like, "Oh, all right, well, damn, I thought since, you getting comfortable, you know what I mean? You sitting on my lap, we're doing all this. I thought that's where we were going, we had a good time at the dance, whatever." Because if he would have simply just let her know, like, "Dude, this was my thought process," she might have just been like, "Oh, okay, I kind of see how that looks like." And she might have even done it that night. She might have just been like, "Well, I mean, I want to, but like, I just don't know." And he could have just been like, "Well, I mean, we're going to do it eventually. I just thought that this would have been the right moment and the right time to do it." You guys could have easily had a conversation at that time. And that's what he should have done. As the guy, it is your job to make the girl feel comfortable in all aspects of that, because a girl is not just going to have sex with you, just because you guys are dating or just because you had a good time where you were, or even just because there was implications of, sex might happen. You got to make her feel comfortable all the way to the finish line, man. And making her feel comfortable all the way to the finish line does include a little bit of kind of talking her into it. As bad as that sounds, I understand how that can sound bad, but it is talking her into it, because it's a thing where it's like, look, you tell her, "Hey, I thought that's where this was going. You changed your clothes into something comfy. You know what I mean? You sitting on my lap, we making out. We had a good time at the dance. Everything just kind of seemed like it was heading in that direction. I didn't know." And then she might have just been like, "Well, I want to, but I don't know if I'm ready for it." And he could have just been like, "Well, we're going to do it eventually." You know what I mean? I felt like this was the right moment, the right time to do it. If you don't feel like it's the right time, we don't have to. And she might have just been like, "No, you're kind of right. Like, it is the right moment. I do like the vibe of what's going on. The day was great. I think I am ready." Like, you could have easily talked her into it and she would be like, "Oh shit." You know what I mean? Before you know it, legs are up and she getting smacked up. But I think it's the way that he went about it. He made her instantly feel uncomfortable. He made her instantly feel like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you know, you have to make the girl feel comfortable and relaxed through the whole thing. And sometimes you got to backtrack to go forward. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you stepping back allow you to go 2 steps forward with a girl sometimes, just because they'll realize your thought process and they'll kind of get out of their feelings a little bit. Because that's what it is. Their feelings are what's holding them back, because they're like, oh, I don't feel like I should do this. I don't feel like da da da. But then when you kind of throw a little logic at them to where it's like, we had a great time at the dance. You got it comfy. You on my lap. We making out, you know, like, to a guy, logically speaking, that's where the night is going. But if I was wrong, then I was wrong. That's where you take that step back and you say, hey, you know, I just figured the vibe was right. Everything was, you know, moving right. You know what I mean? You got into something comfy. We had a good night. You know what I mean? We kissing, da da da. That's what I thought. And then she might be like, you know, in her head, she's like, fuck, that kind of makes sense. Like, we did have a good time. I am in a little comfort. You know what I mean? He's in the mood. I guess I'm kind of in the mood. You know what I mean? I was already kind of kissing him. Da, da, da. Like, maybe I can go through with this. Maybe, you know, and it would have escalated into that. So, yeah, I think where he went wrong was that. You know what I mean? What was the whole thing? My boyfriend has been ignoring me ever since I said no. Okay, yeah. I don't know if she's asking if she's an asshole or anything like that, but your dude is just he just doesn't know how to play the game. You know, if I'm being honest with you, yeah, that's just what that is. All right, let's get on to our next one. My boyfriend lied to my face again. Oh shit, what this nigga lie about? I, 24 female, have been with my boyfriend, 23 male, for almost 8 years. Our relationship has been riddled with struggle, most of which stems from my boyfriend's mental health. As a backstory, I am basically the breadwinner. I work a backbreaking job as a nurse, while I have allowed him to be pretty much jobless in hopes that he would be able to focus on improving his mental health. It's been 2 years of this. I make a comfortable living, especially because I am big on budgeting, but that doesn't mean I have lost my expectations for my boyfriend to get a job and to contribute to our livelihoods and our future. Fortunately, his mom owns her own business and allows him to get hours with her. Does he put in hours? Barely. Although I communicate the resentment that contributes to build or continues, I continue to communicate the resentment that continues to build when I see him put no effort in finding a job without me, having to be a mom and push and prod him. I still get nothing concrete to note. He has a bachelor's in computer science and graduated last May. Anyways, back to the lies. Although he doesn't acknowledge it, he uses substance to self-medicate, namely alcohol and vaping. Over and over, we have had arguments about his substance use, and over again, we have arguments about his lack of motivation and the fact that I'm having to shoulder everything. I have had many mental breakdowns about this. He is fully aware of how much I suffer. Anyways, it comes together because he is an authorized user on my credit cards. Oh no. With an agreement that he may only spend money for gas and other necessities. Because I use a budgeting software, I strictly track the expenses that go through my card. Last week, I saw he made 2 separate purchases at Quickie Trip with one on Thursday being over $11. My financial anxiety is triggered and I go to talk with him about getting groceries versus going to Quickie Trip all the time to save on money. We got into an argument, but resolve it with his promise that he would be more conscious about spending and communicating with me on a purchase. Fast forward to yesterday, I again was working in my budgeting and noticed that the $11 Quickie Trip was charged to the Quickie Trips sprites, okay, i.e. spent money on the liquor purchase. Because I was like, why are you so pressed over $11? Because he's spending it on alcohol. That's why. I remember my vision blurring and he's laying in bed and I calmly go to him and ask him to honestly tell me what he bought. Just food. Did you buy alcohol? No, he says to my face. Then why does it say Quickie Trip Spritz on my card? Then my crying commences while he says nothing. Whoever is reading this, I feel so defeated, especially because this isn't the first time this exact scenario has happened. He knows how stressful my job is. He knows how stressful it is for me to budget and to do it all on my own, for him to lie to my face, for him to knowingly buy alcohol on my money, knowing my struggle. It hurts so much. And I know he loves me. I know he loves me, but why would he betray my trust over and over again? And all for a bottle of alcohol? Why allow me to struggle on my own while he knows that he has the capability to help? I am so lost. I'm so afraid. I'm so afraid of calling it quits on the love of the person I have known for 7 years of my life. He is home. He is all I know, but I am hurting so much because of him. I am also afraid of the possibility that he will take his life because of me, and I don't know what to do. I just can't bear that thought because all of his faults, he has all the trauma and the loss to blame. For all of his faults in many other ways, he does embrace me in unimaginable worth until his actions or inactions plunge me into darkness again. So for $11 for one bottle of alcohol, am I overreacting? No, you're not. Now, if it was a thing where, dude, I don't know, had his own shit going on and he was doing his thing, I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? $11? You're overreacting over $11. But the fact that homeboy is a certified bum and he is sitting and living off of you and you're allowing this shit to happen is crazy to me. All the stress and all the problems that you're having right now is self-inflicted. You don't want to get out of this relationship because you're afraid he's going to kill himself. Well, listen, honey. Honestly, all his mental problems and his mental health and all that kind of stuff, that's not your problem. That's his problem. And how he's going to deal with that is how he needs to deal with that. He's a grown-ass man. For two, you can't keep giving him an out for everything. Like, he is lazy as shit, and he looks at it like, oh, man, I'm just going to put in just enough so that way I can continue to live this lifestyle. You guys are never, and I mean ever, gonna get anywhere in this relationship. He's never gonna get a job. He's content. He's content where he's at. He's like, oh, my girl pays for everything, man. I ain't gotta worry about nothing. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do, blah, blah, blah. And she sits there and her dumb ass just, lets me do all this. And it's like, what are you doing? You honestly, I get it. So many girls sit there and they say, oh, he's all I've ever known and he's the guy for me and all this and all that and I love him and blah, blah. And it's like, ladies, you got to understand, for one, love ain't going to pay the bills. And two, these type of guys are never going to change. You can give them the world and these dudes are never going to change. They're never going to get on their feet. They're never going to get back to normal or whatever the case may be. They're not going to improve themselves. No, these guys are going to sit on your fucking couch. They're going to eat your food and they're going to do the bare minimum to make you happy. And that's just the way it is. And once you realize that, you finally come to your senses and be like, oh shit, like, holy crap. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't realize this is what was going on the whole fucking time. I don't know why you didn't realize that was the whole time. But hey, it is what it is. But it's like, you gotta get rid of this guy. This guy he's just gonna suck you dry and leave you with nothing. Because I guarantee you he'll leave you. Well, he probably won't leave you because, he looks at it like, shit, I got some pussy. It's taking care of me and I ain't got to do nothing. Psh, what are we talking about here? All I'm saying is that guy ain't ever going to change. He is never going to change. And there's nothing that you can do to change him. Sorry. That just ain't going to work. And if you believe that you're going to change him, good luck. Like, man. But she asked if she's overreacting about the bottle of alcohol. No, you're not overreacting because that nigga don't got $11 to his name to be spending on fucking alcohol and vaping. You're a bum, dude. You're a fucking bum. And I guarantee you, he probably doesn't even have mental health issues. He's probably just using that as like, oh, I can't work because my mental health is bad. And, you know, I get these cold shivers and all. Like, nah, bro. Men are designed to work. You know what I mean? We put the hours in. And this guy is just, he's being lazy. You know. All right, we're going to do our last one. Am I, 22 male, wrong for not wanting to make NSFW content with my husband, 24 male, anymore? Oh, all right. All right, this is a homosexual couple. Let's get into it. I, 22 male, and my husband, 24 male, have been together for almost 5 years and married for nearly 4. Last November, we decided to start an OnlyFans and NSFW Twitter. I hesitated to do this, but finally gave in to his wants. The reason was that, if anything, I was trying to keep him happy after some infidelity on his end. After weeks prior, he told me the day after it happened. Anyway, I made the mistake of agreeing to this for the wrong reasons. However, I really don't want to continue with this. We're bringing in $200 per month from doing this, and it just isn't worth it to me anymore. I feel wrong about it, and I'm exhausted from my work/school schedule. I work at a hospital full time from 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. and am also in school for nursing full time. I work part-time at a nursing home about 8 hours a week. After I get off at the hospital a couple days a week, I work this much due to some debt we want to pay off faster. When I get the time to myself, I don't want to deal with getting ready for those videos, which take effort that I don't want to give after working at my other job/school. It takes approximately 2 hours for these videos before edits, which he normally does. He, however, enjoys this due to the attention he gets because he doesn't want to get any other type of side hustle. I am uncomfortable with him doing this all by himself and have been very clear about it in the past. However, when I tell him I don't want to continue, he guilts me into feeling bad that I won't let him post this type of material solo. As I have told him, our pages say his name and my name, not his name or his name, and sometimes my name. He told me in conversation that he doesn't feel like he contributes enough and feels terrible that I'm working so hard and he isn't. Therefore, according to him, this is some way for him to contribute. He is in the military. I was too, but not anymore. And he does 2 college classes every 3 months. He has much more free time than I do, but he won't find a hobby to occupy his time other than this NSFW material. I told him there are so many different ways to make just $200 a month, and that he really isn't that, there's different ways to make $200 a month, and that it really isn't that much for the effort. He disagrees and thinks we're always so close to making thousands of dollars, which is ridiculous, as I don't think so. So in the end, I have a busy schedule. He doesn't, which makes him want to do the NSFW content solo. I, however, am not so okay with that and would instead delete the pages or quit posting them for the time being. So am I wrong for not wanting to continue with this, even though I agreed with it? Oh, man. I get why you agreed to it, because you were like, look, it's an alternative to cheating. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, look, he's either going to go cheat on me with all this time that he has, or we're going to do this NSFW shit together, and that'll keep him from cheating. But obviously you can't do it because the videos take a while, and I don't know how those videos take a while. I mean, ain't he just busting you up in the butt and then that's about it? I don't know why it would take like 2 to 3 hours. Maybe it does. I don't know. But I get it. Your schedule is extremely busy, and the last thing you want to do is, you know, do this, and you're not making all that much money from it, and so on and so forth. And I get it. That's your husband and stuff, but you might have to let him do it solo. Like, if you're not willing to, if he's not willing to like stop doing it and, you know, get a job or get, you know, another job or whatever the case may be, if he's not willing to stop doing it, then you got honestly two options. You let him do a solo, or you honestly just get out of this relationship. And I don't think you want to do that. I don't think you want to, you know, divorce your husband or whatever. And so since you kind of don't want to divorce him, I get that. Then you would have to just let him do it, you know, solo. I don't know if him doing it solo means that he's going to be doing it with other guys. I don't know if that's what that means, or either that, or maybe that's what you're afraid it's going to be, because I could see that. You could let him do it solo and be like, look, you know, I'll let you do a solo, but you can't do these things. You know, you could do that too. You could put some boundaries on it a little bit and be like, hey, look, I'll let you do it solo, but you can't do it with other guys. You can't, you know, do this and that. And then as he's doing a solo, you can be like, hey, I'll help you out here and there, you know, when I got some time or when I feel up to it. Yeah, I'll do a video with you. I'll do this, I'll do that. But I can't have it be a constant thing, you know. But you can do it solo for the majority, but you can't do this and that. You could try that too, and that might help. It's a good little middle ground, you know. It's like, hey, you can still do the NSFW shit, but, you know, for my sake, you just can't do this shit. I don't know, man. That's a really weird and unique situation, but you got options at least to go about it. But that's going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I appreciate you guys so much for all the support you guys have been giving over the 120 something episodes that we've done so far now. I appreciate you guys so much, man. Patreon.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. If you'd like an exclusive episode every single Friday, as well as being able to send in your scenarios like these people did, to be featured on Tuesdays and Sunday shows, as well as TikTok and Instagram. Follow us over there. If you don't got time for a full episode, I got you, fam. There's clips over there, and we give you all the best parts over on TikTok as well as Instagram. Thank you, TikTok followers out there, man. 5K. That is an awesome goal. I'm so glad that we hit that goal. I appreciate you guys so much. Audio listeners, thank you guys so much for rating the podcast. I have been seeing the ratings go up. Please keep rating the podcast. 5 stars is preferable, as well as downloading the episode. If you want to help on the free 99 side even more, go ahead and click the link tree or go to youtube.com/Am I the Asshole Podcast. Am I the Asshole Podcast, all one word. Go to YouTube, hit the subscribe button over there. Even if you don't watch on YouTube, subscribing over there does help. Thank you guys so much. I love you all. I will see you on Thursday for Haunting Adeline, and peace.